Florida homeowners are desperate, and skyrocketing costs are forcing people out. And the folks behind me who are selling their home will be lucky if they don't have to fire sale it, because the buyers are not what they once were, and they are a lot more discriminating or discerning with their tastes. Hello friends, welcome back. You're watching Chris Igoe, and the market has obviously changed. Unless, of course, you've got a Tesla truck in your driveway. In which case, actually, scratch that, a Tesla truck and a blue Tesla in your driveway. Chances are, if that is your economic circumstance, you're probably not feeling much concern right now. But for everybody else who is feeling the economic squeeze that inflation is putting on pretty much everybody, right now is the most unaffordable time to live in human history. In fact, I got a text recently from, shout out to Kevin247, who shared a comment that was left, I think, on his channel, which says, "This entire clown show is about to crash hard. Expect 60 to 90, I think they forgot to put % reduction in residential real estate prices." And I wish that was true, but the the real estate tail doesn't wag the economic dog. That's not how it works, unfortunately. But when the market crashes significantly, and I'm talking about equities markets, when the stock market crashes, well, you can set your clock or mark on your calendar, somewhere between 5 to 7 years later, the real estate market will feel it. And there will be a massive real estate crash. But in the interim, right now, that's just not what we're seeing. And I've spoken to several homeowners that live in the Canyon Trails community that are thinking about selling. And in my consultation, I've come to learn they have a very different opinion of what their home should sell for, which is not unusual. Most home sellers think their home should be worth more than it actually is. But the days of 2021 and 2022, where there were 100 buyers all qualified to get a 2%, 3%, 4% mortgage, who could buy your home and play all kinds of games in order to qualify for it, that market is gone. It doesn't exist. So the demand is not the same as it once was. And if you overprice your home anywhere, it's just not going to sell, period. The number one rule, or the number one reason why a home doesn't sell, is always the same reason. It's always the same thing. It's price. Price, price, price. And yes, they'll lie to you and tell you it's condition. And yes, they'll lie to you and tell you it's marketing. But it always comes down to price. If your home is priced the right way, unlike my recorder here, which isn't recording very well, or at least not straight, because in this market, who's really straight? Nonetheless, if your home isn't priced the right way, it's never going to sell, period, end of story. But in doing these consultations, in talking to people, which, to be very clear, Canyon Trails does not have a tremendous amount of inventory. There's not a tremendous amount of supply, but there's definitely more supply than the recent past. And buyers who are coming to see these homes want something that looks new. So the fact that this is the newest Canyon community and it was finished in 2015, or maybe it was 17, I don't exactly remember. There were two different sections. There's a reason I don't remember besides CTE. But the fact is, right now, home sellers are not getting what they want. They're getting what the market gives them. And buyers are more than happy to elect to go to a newer neighborhood, a newer build, a newer construction development, which is a little further north, to get exactly what they want. So the fact that the home was built in 2015 and at the time it was new doesn't hold true in 2014. And a lot of these home sellers don't seem to understand that. They think their home is different and it's special, and it's not, period. The market doesn't see it that way. The market is always right. So, in doing one of my consultations, I got the opportunity to show a buyer who is ready to go, cash buyer up to $1.5 million, wants what he wants, has the cash, ready to go, his lease is expiring, and when he described his dream home and dream lifestyle, I knew I had an off-market opportunity which I could show to him, and I did. But the feedback was the home, which, to be clear, was a completely macked out home. Every upgrade, every improvement, everything you could possibly want in 2015, which at the time, impact windows were not standard in GL products, but it has everything, right? Huge wraparound porch, huge backyard, beautiful lake view, and a massive screen enclosure that keeps everybody away from the mosquitoes. It's a phenomenal home, but the buyer looked at it like it was a gut job because it's not brand new, and the floors and the bathrooms and the kitchen aren't what they want. They want 2024 style, which is not 2015. And I'm not sharing this opinion to beat up the home seller or potential home seller at all, but there is a huge gap between perception and reality in many instances. And right now, buyers have way more leverage than they've ever had in the past. But getting back to that home that's for sale right now, that home in 2021 sat on the market for 73 days before it left the market unsold, an expired listing. It sat at 1.15 million. No buyers wanted that home. But bar the door, Sally, in 2022, the market changed, and those home sellers rang the register. They cashed in at 1.325, a 15.2% increase in less than a year, and set a record in Canyon Trails. And because they're my neighbors, I knew exactly what was going on, and I was thrilled for them. That's great they set a record. But I also wondered to myself, are we playing around near the top of the market? Because it certainly started to feel top heavy. And the answer is yet to be determined, because right now they're on the market at 1.375, which is roughly a 4% increase than what they paid a year and a half ago. But the difference between now and then was it sold in 2 days last time, and it's already on the market longer than that. Now, to be fair, it's only been 3 days, but last time there was an open house and there was a line of cars around the cul-de-sac up the street, and they didn't all include Tesla trucks, but demand was different. And today, as you saw, crickets. Ain't nobody going to see that home. Which does not mean the home won't sell, but I will be shocked if it sets a record high. Which brings me back to the reality of the economic nightmare that most folks are feeling right now. Health insurance skyrocketed. Property insurance skyrocketed. Cost of living skyrocketed. Home values seem to be skyrocketing in many markets, but not necessarily in Tampa, not necessarily in Naples, not necessarily in Jacksonville, not necessarily in Cape Coral, not necessarily in Destin or in Port St. Lucie. There are lots of housing markets that are showing some strain, that are showing some weakness. And it's not unlike the frog that you put in the pot at a cool temperature that slowly gets to boil. We are in boiling water right now, and most people don't even know it. But if you've got a Tesla truck in the driveway, none of this really matters. But for most, it does. I've received so many home valuation requests from folks just like you who want to know what their home is worth today because they're thinking about selling. And if you want to know what your home is worth, then please click the link up above or down below in the description, and I will send it to you right away. If you must sell, please reach out, because we will find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anyone else, irrespective of market conditions, anywhere on planet Earth. And no, I don't sell real estate everywhere on the planet, but I am connected with the best of the best in every market throughout the world, and I will 1000% ensure that you have the best professional that can advocate and negotiate for you the right way, no matter what. And I always want you to get what you want. If you found value, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.